Alright, sixth graders. This is a demonstration on how to create the color value scale, and you can see that there's one here, and this is out of paint, and you can also see a blue one started with colored pencil, and there's one started the gray value scale that you guys created for the shoe drawings. So we are going to apply the value scale in a different form of paint, and this one's already finished, as you can see, and this is actually a sixth grade example. This is the one that we looked at with the color wheel. A student only had the color value scale. They did a gray scale on a different piece of paper, so these were my examples. But this painted version is a student example. And you can see that here we have the tints, and these are used with white paint and the color red. And this is actually called the hue. It's the regular color that comes out of the bottle, okay? So these are the tints with white, this is the hue, and this is the shade, and as you can guess, these are used with black. And you can see that they increase in darkness as they go, okay? When you work with the whites, you're not going to add any white or any black to that because it'll turn gray. You want to make sure and add red to the white to make it change. And on the shade side, you're going to use red with the black. So make sure that you're not adding any white to this, because again, that will turn gray. Okay? So I'm going to show you guys how to actually paint this. And I have just a plain value scale sitting here. And I'm just going to set that on top of here so that you can see what's going to happen. You guys are going to use your color wheels and find that empty space. If you don't have an empty space, you can use another side of your paper and just make a 7 box scale. Okay, so here we go. You're going to need a palette with a lid, and you can see that they're right here. So you just need one with a lid, and you're going to be sharing with this another person that would like to use the same hue. And here are the hues to choose from: blue, purple, red, orange, and I do have other colors in the back, but those are the ones with the small containers that fit in our tub here. So you have to let me know if you'd like a different color. Okay. For the first part, we're going to work on the tints, and here are some other examples. So you're going to be working on the tints. So you need your regular hue with white. Okay. And so what we want to make sure that we do is put the hue in this middle section, okay? And you can see how much I put in there. And then please put the paint back in the tub. And it looks like I have paint on my hands here. I'm going to get that taken care of quick. And then I have white here, and you need 2 wells of white. So I'm going to put one right here. Okay, and then another one right next to it. And you notice I don't have it completely filled up. It will be just fine. Okay. The idea here is to not waste a bunch of paint. You can always go get more. Okay. So then you're obviously going to need a paper towel, okay, and a few brushes. Now, you and your partner are going to want to make sure that you use 2 separate brushes, and you'll see why. We're going to use both the bristle end and the end of the brush for mixing, okay, and you're not going to get a water cup. You are going to get you're just going to bring the brushes to the sink to clean out. Okay? So the first thing that we do is we are going to label. And this one is called the hue. These are called the tints. And you're going to use the hue plus white. And these are called the shades. And you're going to use the hue plus black. Okay? So make sure you label your paper. Okay? And so it is really important that you and your partner do the same values together. So we start with the hue, okay? And I'm just going to put this blue color on here and grab a little more paint. And if I had a partner, then I would hand this brush to my partner and not use the other brush, okay? So you guys can use the same brushes, okay? Make sure you work together. And I'm trying to get a nice enough edge here that it definitely looks nice, okay? And then I'm going to set this one down just on the side there or on my paper towel, okay? And then I'm going to use my other brush, and I'm going to use not the bristle end but the tip, and I'm just going to take a small amount and I'm going to add it to my white well here, and I'm just going to mix it to see what value I get. And what I'm looking for is the lightest value, the lightest tint, okay? And I think I can actually get a little bit lighter than that. So the reason you have two is because I'm going to take a little bit of this value and put it in here and see if I can make it lighter. This has less blue in it because it's had white added to it. So now I have the lightest value. Okay, and then I have the second value, and then I'm going to be painting those. Okay, and you want to make sure and clean this brush off, and since I'm holding the iPad I can't really clean it off very well, so I'm going to try and get that as clean as possible so I don't get it in my hair. I've been known to do that, so it's not a big deal. It washes out of my hair, but it does not wash out of clothes. Okay, so make sure and get an apron on. So I'm going to take this first value and I'm going to go ahead and paint that. And it almost looks like the paper, doesn't it? But it does have blue in it. Okay, and I may need a couple layers of that. And now I'm going to put this in here. And the problem with this is I already have some white paint in there, so I'm going to have to mix this again because there's extra paint in that, so I got to make sure that it mixes. Okay, so now it's going to be just a little bit whiter. Okay, so now I'm painting this one. And paint does not have to be super smooth. Okay, so now I have first and second value. Now I need to make this one. Okay, so what you can do is you can clean this off if you want to, or you can add some more blue to that second value. So I'm going to go ahead and set this brush down. And I want to add a little more blue to this, and I'm just going to use the edge. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that. Set my brush down. And now I'm going to mix. You can use the end of the brush to mix. Wait until it's all mixed. It's not completely mixed yet. Okay. And then we need what's called a test strip. Do you see this test strip over here? Okay. Well, we need a test strip so that we can tell what value it is. So I'm going to put this value right on the edge of the page. I don't need very much. I'm going to set the brush down. And then I'm going to check to see, does that look very much darker than that number 2? Should it go a little bit darker because the blue is even darker than that? I think it needs to go darker. So that's why we need the test strip. So I need to add some more. Oops, I don't want to use that brush because I don't want white in this. I don't want white in that, okay? So I got to add more to this. So I'm going to add quite a bit more here. Okay, oh, I got some white paint on there, so I'm going to try really carefully to not get a whole bunch of white in that. All right, so now I'm going to try that and mix this up. Now it's starting to get darker, isn't it? And now I'm going to test it again. And you can even tell right there that that's darker. Set my brush down for a second. And I think that's probably a pretty good value. It's darker than that one and lighter than that one, and it's noticeably different. It's kind of in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that. Okay, remember paint does not have to look flat, okay? And so then I have the tints done. Now, if you are going to be making the shades, which would be this end right here, you want to make sure that you have a clean area to add some black. You do not want the white and the black mixing, okay? So, I'm going to do another video for the shades with black. So, you're going to be first doing the tints, and then you're going to be starting with the shades with black, and good luck with the tints.